people, my people. Ryan Garcia called out Jaron Boots Ennis. Is that a fight Ryan Garcia can actually win at the welterweight division? Let's talk about it. You already know what it is. I'm Jay Smith. This is Box Center, your favorite boxer's favorite boxing show. Let's talk boxing, my peoples. Um, Look, I gotta start this off by saying Ryan Garcia has shown us that he's really about that smoke. He's really about that action. So I'll do a quick recap or rewind it back a few years when Ryan Garcia was dealing with, mental health issues and he pulled out of a fight with Fortuna. Well, when he pulled out of a fight, um, you may recall that there was this narrative about how Ryan Garcia's scared. He don't want to fight any of the big boys. He's gonna keep fighting lower level competition. Well, that's how things have played out. At this point, Ryan Garcia has already faced Tank Davis, Devin Haney. He's about to fight Rolly, and he's calling out Jaron Boots Ennis. JJ's in the house. Hello, Jay Smith. I'm here. First one in the building. What's the deal, my brother? You already know what it is, man. We talking boxing, doing what we do. And you may or may not have seen it, but Ryan Garcia specifically pointed out that he would like to fight Jaron Boots Ennis at the welterweight division. What do you think about that fight, my brother? Angry Mexican, what's the deal, my G? Salute. Uh, Angry Mexican, hard to hear. Okay, let me see. Appreciate that, my brother. Let me see. I'm adjusting the mic. Let me know if you can hear me better now. Let me know if you can hear me better so I could make some adjustments to the mic if necessary. Now it sounds great. That's what's up. Germán Quesada, what's the deal, my G? So there you have it, my peoples. That's the subject we're going to start off with today. The what's up? What's up? Some Martin Lawrence type shit. So my peoples, Ryan Garcia, Jaron Boots Ennis. Is that a fight that can happen? And what do you guys think? I did bring up the fact that, a few years ago when Ryan Garcia pulled out of a fight with Fortuna, a lot of people was just like, oh, it's not about mental health. He's scared of Fortuna and he's not going to fight none of the big boys. Like this whole narrative was really popular about how Ryan was this scary fighter who's scared of everybody. Well, sometime after pulling out against Fortuna, he ended up fighting Fortuna anyways and knocking him out. Not only that, at this point in his career, Ryan Garcia already faced Devin Haney, Tank Davis. He's about to fight Rollies, and he's calling out Boots. So now who can say Ryan is a scary fighter when this guy is showing us consistently that he's about that smoke? Come on now. Kyle Wilkinson. Yo, it's Kyle from your live earlier. Hope you had a good day, brother. Appreciate it, my G. I hope you had a good day as well. We talking boxing, my brother. Talk to me. What you think about Ryan Garcia and Jaron Boots Ennis? Is that a fight that can happen? Jordan Washington. Do you get smooth? I don't know exactly what you mean by that, my brother. Germán Quesada. Garcia versus Ennis equals big time money. I agree with you 100%. Jaron Boots Ennis, his star power would absolutely explode if he fights Ryan Garcia, because it's going to be a much bigger audience tuning into that fight than he's ever had for any of his fights. Kyle Wilkinson. Ennis slaps Garcia, in my opinion. I mean, that's a tough fight for Ryan. Moving up to, he's coming from a lower division. He's recently going to kick off his career at welterweight versus Rolly, I believe. To fight Jaron Boots Ennis right after that will be tough. But in boxing, you never know. Ryan clearly believes in himself. That's all I'm saying. JJ's in the house. No, we get boxing. Angry Mexican. Ryan is the only one of the four kings That's for two of them being Tank and Devin. There you have it. Jordan Washington. That shirt makes you vibe. Appreciate it, my G. Yeah, yeah, we shining out here. Yo, G, I'm new here. I don't know what's going on, bro. So, Ryan Garcia, my brother, and Jaron Boots Ennis. Ryan Garcia is going to be fighting Rolly on May 2nd, right? Most of us expect Ryan to knock Rolly out. Okay, let's say he get past Rolly. Obviously fighters, they can't look past their opponent, but we can, right? What the hell? So let's us hypothetically assume that Ryan gets Rolly out of the way. Can he get a fight and beat Jaron Boots Ennis? Or is that out of the question? Germán Quesada, they both have crazy speed. John Parham, we talk boxing. Facts, my brother. Like and subscribe, my people, like my brother John Parham says. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. JJ said that I heard Boots doesn't want to fight Virgil right now. So I think the situation with Boots and Virgil, and I spoke on that before, is that Virgil Ortiz already fighting at 154, right? And we know that Jaron Boots Ennis is trying to become undisputed champion. In order for him to do that, he will still have to fight Brian Norman Jr., who holds one of the two titles remaining, and then he will have to fight Mario Barrios. In any order, he could fight them too. But that's the reason why I think, Boots versus Virgil is not a fight that happens now. And to me, honestly, even though I want that fight, I don't want you to misconstrue my comment. I want that fight. But right now, to me, it doesn't make sense. And here's why, my peoples. Think about this. If Jaron Boots Ennis was to move to 147 right now, to 154 right now to fight Virgil, neither one of them is going to be a champion at 154. What are they going to do? An eliminator? A 10-rounder with nothing on the line? That doesn't make no sense to me. I think it's better if Jaron Boots Ennis stays a little bit longer at welterweight to try to capture those two titles. In the meantime, Virgil Ortiz gets a title at 154. That way, when Boots move up, they're going to be fighting for a belt. That makes a lot of sense to me. Now Boots move up, challenge Virgil Ortiz as a champion. But for him to move up right now, and they get to fight for nothing on the line, that doesn't make no sense to me. Kyle Quesada, yeah, true. But I think Boots has way better fundamentals. I agree with you on that, my brother. I think Boots is... Well, something that I got to point out, though. Ryan Garcia, his offensive firepower matches anybody. The best of the best, Ryan Garcia's offensive firepower is there with the best of the best. Defense, though, I believe Boots got better defense than Ryan Garcia. Hash Bass, don't forget about the rematch. Why Ryan have with Devin? And that rematch, I'm guessing, is going to happen at the end of this year. I'm guessing. But for that rematch to happen, Devin Haney has to win his fight. He has to beat Jose Ramirez to get that rematch at the end of the year we're right now. I do believe that he's going to win that rematch. But I'm still a little bit iffy just because I don't know what Devin Haney we're going to get. I want to see him fight. Y'all remember he got really pummeled by Ryan Garcia. Devin got battered. And sometimes when a fighter take that type of beating, their punch resistance goes down. And then the next time they fight, any punch get them wobbly. Get them dancing salsa. So I want to see how Devin is going to react when he finally get hit. We know Jose Ramirez got pop in his punch. So I want to see how that's going to play out. JJ's in the house. I heard De La Hoya ask Boots. Politics will make a belt. So, listen. I believe that Ryan Garcia is such a big star that if he reach out to Boots, Boots is going to know he'll get a career payday out of that. A career payday. And because of that, I think that he will put other fights on the back burner to fight Ryan Garcia. If Ryan Garcia want to fight Boots, I believe he goes straight to the front of the line and gets that title shot. Ukraine Mafia, you gangster? Nah, my brother, I'm not a gangster. I just talk boxing. But Ukraine Mafia, welcome to come up in here and talk boxing too, my brother. What's up? Kyle, Ukraine Mafia, yes, Jay Smith is gangster. As he gets, he the main man. And I only came across him today. I appreciate it, Kyle. Hell yeah, my guy. But I just have to say, my peoples, look, I'm not even going to make a prediction with that fight. I know a lot of people already telling me that Boots is going to wash him, that Ryan Garcia doesn't stand a chance. I'm personally not making a prediction. I can tell you right now, Boots versus Ryan would be a mega fight. It would be a huge event, and I would like to see it. However, should Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney both win on May 2nd, that rematch has to happen. That's a very anticipated rematch. We know what happened in the first fight, but Ryan's destruction of Devin Haney is being attributed to steroids. We're going to find out if it's true or not. We're going to find out if Ryan Garcia has his number. Which, by the way, is what I happen to believe. I happen to feel like Ryan Garcia got Devin's number. So steroids or not, I think Ryan Garcia might whoop his ass in the rematch too. JJ's in the house. Ramirez has a puncher's chance. Any round, Haney has to box smart to win. I agree with you on that, my brother. And I've been saying it. If Haney's going to be, using his footwork, using every inch of that ring, keeping that stick out there, that jab stiff on him, moving a lot, counter punching, effectively, he can actually even make that fight look easy. But if he stops and trades with Ramirez, it could be problematic. He could run into a big shot and get in trouble. And then we have to see from there, he might face some adversity. Kyle, who do you think Teofimo Lopez should fight after the fight in May? Well, assuming he gets past Barboza, because I've been saying Barboza is the one that has the strongest possibility to upset his opponent on May 2nd in Teofimo Lopez. I'm going to just point out, my brother, Teofimo Lopez is only fighting Barboza because Barboza is a mandatory. And obviously he don't want to relinquish his title. So he has no choice but to fight him. But he didn't want to fight Barboza. Barboza wants to fight Teofimo Lopez, and he feels very confident in himself. An opponent like that can be very dangerous. Just keep that in mind. Now, should Teofimo get past him? I think it's time for us to finally get Teofimo Lopez and Devin Haney. That fight is due. Give us Teofimo. That's a fight that could have happened at 135, but didn't. Give us that fight. Teofimo Lopez. Now, of course, Devin Haney got things to do with Ryan Garcia. So if that rematch is going to happen next after they fight on May 2nd, then Teofimo Lopez still have some other options. Is he going to fight at 140? Is he going to fight at welterweight? We shall see. We shall see. What division is Teofimo Lopez going to fight in? Germán Quesada, I think Ryan could be better at 147. He wouldn't have to push himself in the weight cut, and he would be at 100% on his performance. I mean, I think Ryan Garcia at welterweight is going to be a savage. Like, at this point, we've seen enough of Ryan Garcia's career to not underestimate him. We should not underestimate. I know that he got that kink in the armor when it comes to his defense, keeping the chin up and all that. But Ryan Garcia's offensive firepower is amongst the elite. There's no question about that. JJ's in the house. Lopez has to win first. It's going to be a good fight for the fans. Oh, hell yeah. That's going to be action-packed. And I'm going to tell you, that whole card, or those 3 fights, they're all going to be action-packed. Because think about this. Devin Haney versus Jose Ramirez. Devin Haney is coming off of a loss. We just have to remember that the decision was overturned because of the steroid. But he lost. It was originally a loss. and he took a nasty pummeling. So his stock went down, and now he has that pressure on him to perform. But guess what? Jose Ramirez also lost in his last fight. In fact, he lost to Arnold Barboza in his last fight. So he got that chip on his shoulder that he needs to win. No fighter who's fighting at that high level wants to take 2 losses in a row. So you better believe Jose Ramirez is going in there giving it his best, in the best shape of his life, and with that pressure on his ass that he need that win. So you got 2 fighters that need that W. It's going to be a great fight. It's going to be a great fight. I'm anticipating that Devin Haney is going to try to box him, and Jose Ramirez is going to press the action. He's a pressure fighter, come forward type of guy, throws a lot of punches. He's going to push the action, and he's going to try to make it a fight. So it's up to Devin to control the pace. So we already know that's going to be a good fight. Then you got Teofimo Lopez versus Barboza. I already told y'all, man, Arnold Barboza is very confident in himself. Underrated Will, what's the deal, my brother? Ozzy, what's the deal, my G? Arnold Barboza is confident in himself. He feel like he could beat Teofimo Lopez. And y'all know and I said this earlier, my peoples, remember that. If you look at Arnold Barboza and you look at George Kambosos, they have a similar style of boxing. Of course, their mechanics are different, but they're both pressure fighters. They're both guys who come forward, throw punches and bunches. So, if you remember, Kambosos was able to beat Teofimo Lopez because he got ahead of him on the scorecards. At the end of the fight, Kambosos was surviving. Teofimo was putting hands on him, but Kambosos was so far ahead on the cards that he still won. So what if Barboza does the same thing and he's able to get ahead on the cards on Teofimo Lopez? And Teofimo find himself in a position where he's going to need a knockout. So let's see. This is going to be a tough fight and an entertaining one. And then, of course, Ryan Garcia versus Rollis Romero. Y'all already know. We seen the viral sparring footage on them two trying to knock each other heads off. I promise you, this fight is going to be an extension of that. Rolly feel like he could whoop Ryan Garcia's ass, and Ryan feel like he's going to sleep him. I seen an interview with Ryan saying he's going to sleep him in 4 rounds. Come on now. So all 3 of those fights are going to be major slugfests. I promise you that. JJ said that. Everyone hit that like button and welcome. Hell yeah. Appreciate it, my brother. Kyle, what are you thinking about the Tank versus Roach rematch? If it's going down. No, look, that rematch is definitely going down. They was going to do it on June 21st, but they pushed it back as they still trying to put together the undercard. But that rematch is going down, and I'm going to tell you right now, my brother, to some people it may be controversial, but I got Lamont Roach winning the rematch. I got him winning the rematch. I had him winning the first fight, even without the knee, even without the point deduction that should have taken place. I still had him winning that fight. So I think this time he got to win more convincingly, but I got him beating Tank Davis. Young Guns, isn't Ryan after Barboza fighting Devin Haney next? So that is what's being said, that, you know, if Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia both win, they'll be fighting their rematch at the end of the year. So that could very well happen. Young Guns, Teo dropped Kambosos in round 10. And that's what I'm talking about. If you look at when Teofimo dropped Kambosos, after that, he was putting all type of hands on him. Kambosos was running a lot and surviving, but he was way ahead on the cards. So Teofimo, he didn't have enough rounds left to make a comeback. He lost on the scorecards. Kyle, Young Guns, nothing confirmed yet because fighters never like to look past their opponent. Look what happened to Fury when he overlooked Nagano. Damn, that was embarrassing too. That was embarrassing. JJ's in there has Lopez will get reckless if he get behind on the cards. That's the thing. We got to see how it plays out. That's why I made the comparison between Kambosos and Barboza. They're both pressure fighters. They're both guys who are going to throw punches and bunches. So what happens? What happens if Tio get behind on the cards? He's got to have a fast start. And you know Teofimo, he likes to start slow. Let's see what type of adjustments he's gonna make versus a Barboza that is gonna come out swinging. John Parham, I got Tank in 10. And that's reasonable. I don't knock you for that, John Parham, because Tank Davis, and I always say, even though some people think I'm a Tank Davis hater, I'm not. Tank Davis is one of the best of this generation. He's a special fighter. So I don't put it past him to make the right adjustments and get the stoppage in the fight. I don't put it past him. I think that Tank Davis is probably not going to have his usual slow start. He already found out with Roach, if I start slow and he steals some early rounds, then I'm going to have to be playing catch-up. So I think that we're going to see some adjustments from Tank Davis. Hash Bass, remember Tio was sick against Cambosis, and hopefully Tio is healthy. And if he is, Tio got this. I believe so. I mean, I got Tio winning this fight, but I feel like he's facing the toughest opponent out of the three. Jose Ramirez, I got a lot of respect for him. Top-notch fighter. Rollies, I got respect for him. I know he could change the outcome of a fight in one punch. But to me, Arnold Barboza is the toughest opponent. Kyle, I agree. I think Roach has the edge on Davis. I'm telling you, I feel like Lamar Roach has Tank Davis's number. And I say this because if we look at the first fight, it's not like Lamar Roach was running around to survive to go the distance and Tank Davis was just chasing. Lamar Roach was walking Tank Davis down for 12 rounds. And whenever Tank Davis stood his ground, Lamar Roach traded with him right there. Lamar Roach was trying to fight Tank Davis inside of a phone booth, my people. He made it that type of fight. I don't think that Tank Davis was ready for that. In fact, I was looking for that interview and I couldn't find it, where Tank Davis said, we already know what he's going to do. He's going to box. He's going to be moving around a lot. I'm going to have to chase him. They did not expect Lamar Roach to be coming forward and bringing the action to him the whole fight. So we got to see. We got to see what type of adjustments Tank Davis is going to make and what Lamar Roach is going to do as a result of those adjustments. But I feel like he may have his number. At point blank range, and he never ate that big shot from Tank Davis that knocked people out from right there, that's tough. That's tough, my people. Lamar Roach was prepared for everything that Tank Davis does right inside the ring. Kyle, I agree. I think Roach has the edge on Davis. John Parham, Roach has the edge, but fight is more important for Tank. I believe it. Tank needs this. Tank Davis need that win versus Lamar Roach to restore that faith, because a lot of people questioning what happened in that last fight. Joshua Davis, looking forward to Tim Tszyu versus Fundora 2. How tall Fundora? 6'6"? Listen, Tim Tszyu is a fighter who took 2 quick losses because then he lost to Bakram. But I'm a Tim Tszyu believer. I watched Costa Tszyu most of his career. I watched him. And Tim Tszyu is a carbon copy of his father. Physically and mentally. Technical-wise. Carbon copy. So him taking those losses, I'm an old school boxing fan. Him taking those losses, to me, that don't mean he a hype job or overrated or none of that. I still believe Tim Tszyu will be able to become a champion. And by the way, if you watch Tim Tszyu versus Fundora, he was actually putting hands on Fundora before he got cut. Once that blood started gushing in his face, the tide started changing in Fundora's favor. But Tim Tszyu was putting hands on him before he got cut. So I'm looking forward to that rematch. I'll tell you that right now. Germán Quesada, didn't Teofimo want to fight Ennis next? Personally, I think he's overconfident. I mean, Teofimo Lopez and Ryan Garcia both saying that they want to fight Jaron Boots Ennis. I mean, of course, I feel like Boots would be favored. Now, I'm pretty sure Boots would be favored to beat both of them, but that's what boxing is about. You got to believe in yourself. Even if none of us believe that they can beat Jaron Boots Ennis, they got to believe in themselves. JJ's in the house. Jay Smith, his tank is a tanker maniac undercover. Tank Davis is a great fighter. He a great fighter. I never hate on Tank, and I don't hate on fighters. I just give my honest opinion. Joshua Davis, Tank is like a miniature Tyson in the 80s. He's exciting, win or lose. I agree with you, my brother. The only thing I would say, Tank is more patient than Mike Tyson. Which it could be good and it could be bad. It's bad because that patience is the reason why he lost early rounds to Lamar Roach. Tank Davis is a notorious slow starter and he loses early rounds. He's done that a lot. He's lost early rounds to a lot of fighters at this point. Mike Tyson, he came out swinging from round number 1 trying to knock your head off. So I think that's the main difference between Tank and Tyson. Germán Quesada, the truth is that pressure boxers are difficult for Gervonta. We already saw what happened with Pitbull. That's a fact. That's a fact. He's going to have a faster start for that rematch with Lamar Roach. He cannot give up 3, 4, 5, or most of the early rounds. Kyle, if Roach beats Tank in the rematch, who do you want to see him against after? I mean, if Roach is able to beat Tank Davis, I want to see him fight Shakur next. Now, he did say him and Shakur actually spoke before the first fight, and Lamar Roach told him, I'm going to beat Tank, and then me and you going to unify titles. So he's already been in touch with Shakur about fighting him. Shakur even told him, if he don't want to give you the rematch, I got a title shot for you, bro. So I think it's a good possibility that if he beats Tank Davis, Shakur Stevenson versus Lamar Roach may happen afterwards. Maybe even immediately afterwards. Joshua Davis. Yes, Tim Tszyu is a champion. Charlo dodged him. He ducked Tim Tszyu to the fullest. If y'all remember, Tim Tszyu was his mandatory. And they were supposedly going to fight. Charlo said he hurt his hand. Left from boxing, basically. And then when he came back, I'm going to move up to fight Canelo. This man ducked Tim Tszyu for the longest. That's a fact. MAW, hello boxing fans, Jay and chat. Smash that like button, folks. Hell yeah, my peoples. I appreciate it, MAW. Shout out to you and everybody up in Australia that'll be showing me love. JJ's in the house. I think Tim mentally strong, even with the losses. I agree with you 100%. Tim Tszyu is a strong fighter physically and mentally, and I believe that he will be a champion. Germán Quesada, at the time I wanted to see Tim Tszyu versus Crawford. I think it would have been a good fight. That would have been a heck of a fight. And Tim Tszyu was up for it. He was like, tell him to come to 154. I got him. Underrated Will. He bet not lose. MAW. Tim Tszyu can rise again. Show levels versus Joey Spencer. Even if Tim lost again, as long as he's fighting the best available, that's all we can ask for. In my humble opinion. I agree with you, my brother, because that's what it's about. And when fighters fight top level guys consistently, in most cases, they're going to end up losing. It's okay to take a loss and bounce back and show what you're really about. Win again. Get to the top again. Catch a title. Kyle. I'm going now, Jay Smith. It's 1 a.m. for me, and I'm up early. Getting in that road work. Catch you soon. All right, Kyle. I'm getting in my road work early in the morning, too, my brother. Hell yeah. Have a good one, my brother. Appreciate you dropping in. But yeah, my peoples, there's a lot of good fights coming up, but I'm interested. If Teofimo Lopez or Ryan Garcia get in the ring with Boots, that's a big, big fight. That's a big, big fight. Real talk. I'm all in. I'm all in. Now, are those fights actually going to happen? I don't know. I think Ryan Garcia has a better chance to get a fight with Boots. And I say that because he's the bigger star. That would be a mega fight. And Boots obviously will get a super career payday. Not to mention the exposure of stepping in the ring with Ryan Garcia. That would be a pay-per-view fight. And that would do crazy numbers. So I'd like to see Jaron Boots Ennis and King Ryan Garcia get it in. Hell yeah. I'm in. I'm sold on that fight. But of course, we can look past their opponents. They can't do that. I'm pretty sure that right now, Ryan Garcia is focused on Rolly's Romero. That's his next fight on May 2nd. Which, by the way, my peoples, they're going to fight. We have that card on May 2nd with Ryan, Teofimo, and Devin. That's May 2nd. That's on Friday, by the way. Remember, my peoples, I'm going to be calling them fights on Friday. And then Saturday, we got Canelo versus William Skull. Canelo versus Skull is going to be an interesting fight. MAW, do you think Barrios versus Pac-Man is happening, Jay? I don't know, to be honest. I've heard the rumors about it, but I don't know just yet. They could be talking. They could try to, be figuring out, the right deal. Because obviously Barrios is going to say, yo, if you want me to give you a title shot, y'all going to have to pay me some serious money. I need a career payday. Barrios is going to want to get paid. And obviously, Pac-Man is going to get paid. So I think it's a question of the business aspect being right. And if it is, I think they'll fight. But right now, I can say Barrios' team is real quiet. They're not talking about that. And Manny Pacquiao isn't talking about it either. That's a good thing. Because that could very well mean that they talking behind the scenes and trying to make it happen. But right now, you can't tell, Until them contracts are signed, you never know. And that's one thing about boxing. Everything is subject to change. Until those contracts are not signed, anything can happen. Boss for Game, do you think William Skull poses any problems for Canelo? I think he does, my brother. I don't underestimate him at all. And I'm going to tell you why. Skull is a very tall guy. He's tall, big, strong. He's going to have a lot of reach advantage on Canelo. But most importantly, the guy's Cuban. He got that Cuban boxing style where he's going to use that footwork. He's going to use them angles. He's going to be mobile. And Canelo doesn't have the best footwork in the world. He know how to cut you off. He will cut you off. But when you got that height and reach advantage, if you use that jab effectively, it's hard for him to get on the inside to land those body shots. If you watch Dimitri Bivol versus Canelo Alvarez, you see that. Bivol's reach advantage was part of the reason why Canelo just couldn't operate. Because every time he was trying to close that gap, that jab was up in his face. And Canelo just couldn't close that gap consistently, eating punches and bunches every time he tried to get on the inside. And if you're going to land, Canelo got that trademark left hook to the body. For him to land that left hook to the body the way he does, he got to get on the inside. That's not a punch that you land from the outside from long distance. You got to step inside that phone booth to land that shot. Now, I believe that William Skull is going to maybe give him some problems in the beginning. But I think that Canelo, after maybe 2-3 rounds, is going to figure him out and start finding his way on the inside to land those shots. Eventually, I think he slows him down and then starts teeing off on him. But William Skull does represent some challenges. Canelo's not just going to wash him early. This guy can box. This guy can box, my people. JJ Sendejas, I'm barbecuing right now and listening to us talking boxing. Yes, let's go hit the like button, everyone. Okay, my brother. Enjoy that barbecue. Hell yeah. Enjoy that. MAW. Ryan looking good lately. I want to see more of how Rolly training. Imagine if Rolly or Ramirez or Barboza pull off the upset. Listen, talking about upset, my brother, there's a lot of big fights coming up, and I have a hard time believing that nobody's going to be upset. Have a hard time believing that. JJ's in there. Supposedly, Mikey Garcia is training to fight Pac-Man. Let's see if it's true. Mikey Garcia is done, but Pac-Man is also done. So, I don't even know if that fight will be best as an exhibition at this point. Junior, Zepeda versus Stevenson. Shakur Stevenson's going to smoke him. I don't know how interesting Zepeda's going to make it, but his style is tailor-made for Shakur Stevenson. This might be a Shakur Stevenson, Oscar Valdez part 2. A flat-footed fighter, I don't care if you a pressure fighter, because Valdez is a pressure fighter, come forward fighter. If you're a flat-footed fighter, putting pressure and coming forward and throwing punches, you're not going to beat Shakur. I believe Shakur, if he loses, is going to be to a guy who can box just like him, who's a real slick boxer, who can time him, who can outwork him, but being a slick boxer too. I think that's the type of fighter that's going to beat Shakur if it ever happens. Ramsrio Boots murders Ryan. So look, my brother, that's a popular opinion. That's a popular opinion. A lot of people saying that Boots will knock Ryan out. But I want to see it. I want to see it. Underrated Will. JJ, salute. Junior. Okay. Underrated Will. I don't know if Boots versus Ryan happened. I don't know, because Ryan seems to surprise people. I'm trying to tell you, my brother. Just think back a few years when Ryan was struggling with mental health issues and he pulled out of that fight with Fortuna. What was the narrative? Oh, Ryan's scary. Ryan is a dog. He don't want to fight nobody. And look what happens. A few years later, Ryan Garcia already fought Tank Davis, already fought Devin Haney. It's about to fight Rollies, and it's trying to fight the best out there, trying to get the biggest fights. So Ryan Garcia, for everybody who was saying that he's scared, he's going to duck everybody, he showed everybody wrong. I always believed in him, by the way. But he showed everybody what he's really about. Hash Bass, Devin Haney team got mostly on the team. Do you think that can be helpful? I believe so. When you got a guy like Sugar Shane Mosley, you got to remember, Sugar Shane Mosley in his prime, it's not just about how nice he was. By the way, he was the guy to really beat De La Hoya, beat him twice, but it's also about his defense. I believe Sugar Shane Mosley can help with his defense, sharpen Devin Haney's defense up so he don't take some of those shots. Because Jose Ramirez, I'm going to put it to y'all like this, yo. Jose Ramirez's only bet is to either knock Devin Haney out or hurt him really bad to a point where he could win rounds because Devin is hurt and is not able to get his composure back. But he got to either knock him out or hurt him badly. That's the only way Jose Ramirez wins this fight. So Devin Haney got to focus on his defense and outbox him. MAW, Berlanga versus Shiraz, Shakur versus Zepeda. It's a good card. And by the way, Subriel Matias is fighting on that fight. He's getting a title shot versus, I can't remember my brother's name. He's Dominican. That's a heck of a fight. And Morel is also fighting on that same card. That's a heck of a card. Dirk Banks, bro, stop disrespecting Ennis. He destroys Ryan. I mean, my guy, how am I disrespecting Ennis? Ryan Garcia says he wants to fight him. I would love to see that fight. Where's the disrespect in that, my brother? Now, you could say Ryan Garcia is disrespecting him by saying he could beat him. But I'm simply saying, hey, look, you want to fight him? I would like to see it. Love more Hinduism. Ryan's a superstar. Yo, Ryan Garcia right now is one of the biggest stars in boxing. If Ryan and Boots fight, that's going to be a huge fight. If Boots beat him up and get him out of there, guess what? Boots' star power is going to go like this. It's going to explode. JJ Zendejas. Garcia had to fight his demons before he fought anyone else. He was dealing with mental health issues. And I think it was real obvious that he was. That's one thing about, for whatever reason, us men, most of us, we don't really want to accept mental health issues. It's like, nah, he lying. But I could see that he was dealing with that for sure. John Pound, Ryan, definitely a star. Look, he's fighting on the same card with Teofimo and with Devin Haney, and he's headlining. He's the main event. That right there tells us what the deal is. Germán Quesada, I would have liked to see Ennis versus the version of Madrimov that fought versus Crawford. Personally, I didn't like how he fought versus Ortiz. He didn't seem the same. I mean, I think that the difference was that Terrence Crawford fought a Madrimov that nobody seen before, that nobody really knew how he was going to come fight. While Virgil, now he already has a reference to what's your style, how you fight, how you look. So I think he was able to better make a game plan for Madrimov than Bud Crawford. Love more Hinduism, Puello, yes. Alberto Puello is going to fight Subriel Matias on the same card that Shakur Stevenson is going to fight this dude. That's a heck of a card. Look, think about this, my peoples. This is what I want y'all to consider. Take this into consideration so you can see. We got this weekend Conor Benn, Chris Eubank Jr. The following weekend, we got Ryan Garcia, Teofimo Lopez, and Devin Haney. The following day, we have Canelo Alvarez versus Skull. Then after that, we're going to get Tank Davis versus Lamont Roach rematch. Then after that, we're going to get Shakur Stevenson, Edgar Berlanga, Alberto Puello versus Uriel Matias, and we're going to get David Morrell. That's a lot of fights, my people. Do you think all of the favorites are going to win? I don't know. I don't know, my people. That's a lot of fights. That's a lot of fights, my people. I think that's why I said earlier, upset alert. Some fighters will be upset. I don't know who, but that's my take. John Parham, I'm not going to say Ennis beats Ryan. I mean, I think it's a very interesting fight, man. I think it's a very interesting fight. MAW, oh yeah, Puello versus Matias. And Morrell add a lot to the card too. Yo, that card is a great card. It's going to be a great night of boxing. All of those are fights that we want to watch. And by the way, I've been telling everybody knows, I'm off the Edgar Berlanga bandwagon. I've been off of that bandwagon. His last few performances, to me, he just didn't look good. And the way he lost to Canelo, it felt like he didn't have no heart. Edgar Berlanga, if you watch his fight with Canelo, if you saw it, he was there to survive. He was there to get a moral victory and say, I went 12 rounds. I went the distance with Canelo. Come on now. I didn't like that. I didn't like that at all. It was like, nah, he's not one of the guys. He's not one of them. It didn't come across that way. Not to me, at least. Look at the way Morrell lost to Benavidez. He lost, but you could see he went there to fight. And he won some rounds. And he had some good moments against Benavidez to tell you, yeah, Morrell, I could still back him. He's still going to be a champion. But Edgar Berlanga, the way he lost to Canelo, nah. That wasn't a good look. So, now he's going to fight Hamza Shiraz. If you beat Shiraz, I believe in you again. I got to see that. Go beat Shiraz. John Parham. I'm not going to say Ennis beats Ryan. MAW. Oh, no. John Parham. Boots better protect himself from that left hook. And you know sometimes Boots get irresponsible with the defense. And he eats some shots. So you got to see what happens if Ryan Garcia land that big left hook on him. Germán Quesada. Shakur is big. I personally think he'll end up fighting at 147. I think Shakur will end up at 147. But it'll be when he gets to his mid-30s. But he'll end up at 147. I think that'll be the last weight class that he gets to fight in. Love more Hinduism. 2025 summer boxing is fire. Yo, boxing has been amazing for us throughout this year. And with the cards that we got coming up, and I didn't even mention Terrence Crawford, Canelo Alvarez in September. Of course, we need Canelo to win. We need Canelo to win on May 3rd. That's the main reason why I need and want him to win. Because if he loses to William Score, you know he's not going to fight Crawford after that, after losing. Germán Quesada, Score is similar in size to Jermell and Jermall, but slightly stronger. Yeah, he a big dude. Love more Hinduism. Boots gets hit a lot. And that's what I was saying. Boots get hit a lot. So if he eats a left hook from Ryan Garcia, we got to see how that plays out. Germán Quesada, I would have liked to see Canelo versus Alec. Yeah, I can't pronounce his name, but I know who you're talking about. The current best middleweight versus the current best super middleweight. Plus, Alemquan Nali is the natural successor to Triple G. He can fight, bro. He can fight. But I don't think Canelo's going to fight him. You know why? Because he just doesn't have the name. He just doesn't have the recognition like that. And Canelo, at this point in his career, he's trying to fight bona fide stars only. So for that reason, I don't think we'll see that fight. MAW, Ryan versus Devin penciled in next. So I'm not entertaining Boots versus Ryan fight just yet. Now, if Tio beats Barboza, Tio talked about Boots. Let's see what happens. The only thing is that for Ryan or Teofimo to fight Boots, that fight has to happen quick. Because Boots, he's only staying at 147 because he's trying to become undisputed. Once he becomes undisputed, or once it becomes evident that he's not going to be able to get those fights where, you know, the two guys that have the belts at 147. If he can't get those two fights, Brian Norman Jr. and Barrios, he's going to get out of there. He's going to go to 154. So while he's at 147, which I believe is going to be a short time, these fights needs to happen with those other guys who want that smoke. El Fantasma de Geraldo Ledin. My brother, what's the deal, my G? Bendiciones, hermanito mío. Love more Hinduism. Chavez versus Paul. I mean, I think that's a strategic cherry pick. And I say that because, think about it, man. Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., he hadn't boxed since 2021. In 2024, he fought versus a guy that had the grand total of one professional fight. That's what he fought. He's 39 years old. He's about to be 40. This guy, if you look at his lifestyle, he be out there coked up, partying, messing with hookers, just living la vida loca type shit. So I don't think he's gonna come back and just look good again and be his old self, especially at his age. Don't be surprised if Jake Paul knocks him out. And now Jake Paul is gonna tell us, look, I knocked out a world champion. Y'all can see what, Jake Paul with the cherry picking, man. At this point, I'm just hoping one day Jake Paul is gonna fight somebody in his age group. Like, bro, you're in your 20s. Fight somebody in their 20s with around the same amount of fight as you, around the same amount of experience as you. I'm tired of the Jake Paul bullshit at this point, bro, for real. Hash Bash. I think Berlanga was a starstruck and a fan, but he was too big and too strong for his next opponent. Yo, what? Hold on, my brother. Hash Bash. Hamza Shiraz is not a small guy, my brother. Hamza Shiraz is not a small guy, my brother. And I'm going to remind you that Jake Paul, this dude, Berlanga, he hasn't fought anybody in the level of Hamza Shiraz. If we look at all his opponents, he ain't fight nobody in that level. So we got to see how that fight plays out. If he beats him, I'm a believer. I'm saying it right now. You could beat Hamza Shiraz, I'm a believer again. JJ's in the house. Everyone try to save money and watch some of these fights live if you can. My brother, I love to see a lot of them fights live. I need to get out there. MAW. Only way a Boots versus Ryan fight talk makes sense if both Davis and Tio lose, in my humble opinion. Germán Quesada. Yeah, but you got to understand, my brother. Ryan Garcia is the bigger star out of all those names that you mentioned, including Boots. So if Ryan Garcia, I promise you, brother, if Ryan Garcia give him a call like, yo, I want to make this fight, they're going to take it. They're going to put Ryan Garcia in front of everybody on that line because he represents the biggest fight. He's the biggest star. Germán Quesada, if Munguia and Berlanga win their next fight, I like to see them face off next. I like to see that. I like to see Munguia and Berlanga. I think that's a good fight. That's a good matchup. MAW, Boots chasing Undisputed. It's my first preference for Boots. Accomplishments matter more than popularity fights for me. And Undisputed is a major box to tick. I agree with you 100%, my brother. That's the reason why I've been saying that right now, Jaron Boots Ennis versus Virgil Ortiz doesn't make any sense. Because Boots will be moving up to 154. Neither one of them is a champion. They're going to fight for nothing. They're going to fight an eliminator or a 10-rounder, even worse. So that just doesn't make sense. I know, look, I want that fight. Don't get it twisted. I want to see Virgil Ortiz and Boots mix it up. But it makes more sense if Boots right now tries to get those other two belts at 147. In the meantime, Virgil can catch a title at 154. That way, when Boots finally moves up, Virgil Ortiz can defend his title against him. That will make a lot more sense than them fighting for nothing. John Parham, I think Chavez party too hard and just wants a payday. Yeah, that's what it looks like to me. He need a payday, a nice check. You know, he's basically won the Jake Paul sweepstake. Everybody that fight Jake Paul, they're going to make some money. So that's about it right there. But come on now. And the funny thing about it is that 39-year-old Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. isn't even ranked in any of the sanctioning bodies. And watch, if Jake Paul beat him or even knock him out, they're already going to talk about he deserves a title shot. Bro, you didn't even fight somebody who's ranked. You fight somebody like, no disrespect, my peoples, but I could describe Chavez Jr. as a washed-up cokehead. You're going to be a washed-up cokehead. And they say, look, I deserve a title shot because I beat this dude. Come on, man. Come on. I'm tired of the Jake Paul bullshit. Love more Hinduism. Chavez can KO Jake out. My brother, at 39 years old, a bunch of inactivity, drugs, alcohol, partying. I don't think so, my guy. I honestly don't think so. Jake Paul is going to be bigger than him, stronger than him. You ain't knocking Jake Paul out. You ain't. He's not. Trust me. MAW. Salute, brother. Germán Quesada. I'm surprised you have any faith in Ryan. Almost everyone is saying Boots is going to beat him up. I mean, I see a lot of people, the majority are saying that. But I believe in Ryan Garcia. I'm not going to tell you right now Ryan Garcia is just going to beat him. But I think it's a good fight. I think it's a good fight. It's an interesting fight. And I would like to see it. I would really like to see it. Jay Petty. Got to be kidding me. You need way more than the left hook to beat Ennis. Ryan will make it to the 4th round. I mean, I respect that prediction, my brother. But Ryan Garcia, at this point in his career, I think he's shown his pedigree. And I'm not willing to say that he's just going to get washed like that. Ryan is not, by the way, Ryan Garcia is not a small dude. You got to remember, he struggled big time. Even the last few years that he was at 135, he never made weight. He was always at a catch weight of 140. And then you see that he's always struggled to make weight. He's a big dude. Ryan Garcia is a big kid. So I believe that it's a good fight. John Parham. Herman, Boots probably can, but won't be easy. Hash Bass. The Aki fought at 160. So he's coming up to 168. Germán Quesada. What will make Ennis' popularity explode would be if he defeated Garcia by knockout. I agree with you 100%. That's why he should take that. And look, not that he should. I believe if Ryan made that call like, yo, let's fight, Boots is going to take that without a shred of hesitation. because that will be the biggest star that he will ever fight up to now, and that will definitely be his biggest payday. He will fight in front of the biggest crowd. It will be his only pay-per-view. His popularity will absolutely explode. Even if he beats Ryan Garcia by points, his popularity will go off the charts. That will be when Boots will become a big star. Well, college, if Ryan can definitely hurt Boots, Boots can do the same as well. But I think Ryan will be the power puncher in that fight. I mean, I think they both will be a power puncher in that fight. Because Boots got pop in both hands. Jay Petty, I got to stop overreacting with this get hit a lot stuff. I mean, listen, we got to understand, look, Ryan, he got that weakness, he got the weakness with the chin, fighting with the chin up. But Boots, he get irresponsible sometimes. He get hit. He get hit too. Luckily, he could take a shot and keep it moving. John Pound, Boots' weakness is leaving his target open for a left hook. Jay Petty, Ryan would not be the power puncher in that fight, sir. MAW, Berlanga versus Munguia makes a lot of sense if both win their next fights. I agree. I'd like to see Berlanga versus Munguia. But right now, I'm really looking forward to Berlanga versus Hamza Shiraz because I want to see if Berlanga can beat him. I want to see, can you beat this guy? John Parham, 5 more likes, my people. Let's get to 20. JJ's in their house. If it doesn't make sense, it sure isn't going to make $1. That's it. Dollars make sense. That's the way it goes. Love more Hinduism. Wash up C-level fighter. Are you talking about Julio Cesar Chavez Jr.? Love more Hinduism. Boots is overrated. Nah, my brother. Hell no. Boots is not overrated. Boots is definitely not overrated. You talking about an undefeated fighter, a world champion, now a unified champion, a guy who can fight as an orthodox, as a southpaw, a big fighter. Nah, yo, he's not overrated, bro. Boots is a special fighter. Special. Jay Petty, Ryan couldn't compete with Ennis on Boots' worst day. What Ryan show you? Ryan showed me that he can fight. What do you mean what he showed me? Have you seen Ryan Garcia's entire career? He can fight, bro. He can fight. JJ's in the house. Garcia getting bigger and stronger. That power, man. Listen, a power puncher can change the outcome of a fight with one punch. Ryan Garcia has that type of power, bro. Ryan Garcia has the type of power that he could get his ass whooped by Boots in round number 1, in round number 2, in round number 3, and then in round number 4, boom, a monster left hook, and change the whole flavor of the fight from that point on. That can happen. That can absolutely happen. Jay Petty, let's not forget, just was saying Stanionis wouldn't be easy. Nah, it's true. I got respect for Stanionis. Boots put hands on him. John Pound, Ryan looked way more improved. And look, he's back to working with Derrick James. He's back to working with Derrick James. And he looked good working with him. Matter of fact, he worked with Derrick James when he put that nasty beating on Devin Haney. Gabe Rivera, dímelo, mi hermano. ¿Qué es lo que es, hermanito mío? Jay Petty, everybody gets hit. But when you approach the fight like a killer, you're going to get hit, but he doesn't get hit more than these other guys. That's fair. That's fair. But that's the thing. If it just take getting hit with the right shot. When you got a power puncher, that right shot catches you, and the whole flavor of the fight is going to change from that point on. Ozzy, Ryan going to beat the world with that Osterin. JJ's in the house. I wish I was overrated. Keta Johnson, yo, what's up, Keta? Ozzy, if Ryan comes in heavy, he beats anyone. Gabe Rivera, Garcia versus Boots 50-50 fight. Because Boots is a little irresponsible at times. That gives Ryan a shot, as we know Ryan can crack. That's what I've been saying, man. A guy like that, he just needs to land that shot, and everything changes. Ozzy, he got that lights out power. Hash Bass. Berlanga will be at home, and only thing that will be against Berlanga is the promoter, which is Turkey. On his next fight, Berlanga will get the KO. Berlanga is gonna KO Shiraz. That's a bold prediction, my brother, because you gotta remember, Hamza Shiraz went 12 rounds with Carlos Adames. Carlos Adames is a power puncher, a guy that knocks people out. And he went the distance. He ate Carlos Adames' biggest punches. So to say that Berlanga's going to knock him out, I don't know, man. I don't know. Jay Petty, Ryan versus Boots being a 50-50 fight is delusional work. Got to be kidding me. I think it's right now, I'm not going to say it's a 50-50 fight, but I will say it is a competitive fight. I'm leaning towards Boots for obvious reasons, but I still think it's a competitive fight. MAW, boxers are prize fighters. The prize is the money, accomplishments, or both. I respect fighters chasing both, but my main interest is the accomplishments. That's why Boots chasing undisputed, my preference. I agree with you 100%. And look, we got to remember, Boots and Brian Norman Jr. is a fight that a lot of us want to see. MAW, but Norman pricing himself out. Honestly, I don't think Brian Norman Jr. pricing himself out. I think that he's doing smart business. And I'm going to tell you why, my brother. Think about this for a second. D. Willer, I'm here, OG. What's the deal, my brother? Think about this for a second. Brian Norman Jr. and his pops, they already know that Boots want to become undisputed. The only way that you could become undisputed is by fighting Brian Norman Jr. There's no way around it. He's not trying to lose that title to nobody else. He's going to hold on to that. He's going to keep winning. You want to become undisputed? Pay me. Pay me. And we're going to fight. And I'm going to remind you, my brother, they offered Brian Norman Jr., like the highest offer was like 1.7 or 1.6. And he wanted $2 million. They was $400,000 away from making that fight happen. Okay, it didn't happen. Well, we saw Brian Norman Jr. in his last fight. What a performance. What a knockout. His stock went up. Yesterday's price is not today's price. Pay him and make that fight happen. Pay him. Make it happen. Jay Petty can't compete with Boots with only a puncher's chance, 4 rounds or less, and it's over. Nah, I don't see that happening. I don't see that happening. Oliver, is Conor Benn any good? Hell yeah. Conor Benn is a top level performer, an elite level fighter, and he's very good. Very good. Now, is he gonna beat Chris Eubank Jr.? We're gonna find out. I got Conor Benn knocking him out, and that's crazy. You moving up all the way to fight this guy at 160 with a 10-pound rehydration clause. Let's see. Let's see. Can Conor Benn shook up the world? Keta Johnson, I'm on my girl account, phone died. No problem, no problem. MAW, Hamza went 12 with Adames, but also 4 with damaged hand. Might have been different if his hand was good. Could have been, you never know. Jay Petty, Ryan a one-trick pony. It wouldn't be competitive at all, trust me. I mean, I want to see it. I want to see it. And the one-trick pony thing, nah, man, that's not really true, my brother. That's not true at all. It's just that he got that prolific left hook, but he's not a one-trick pony. He got a nasty straight right hand, a nasty lead right hand. He got the nasty stiff jab. Ryan got a lot in his back. Yo, his offensive firepower is legitimate. He's not a one-trick pony. That's a false narrative. Of course, he got that big left hook, but he got a lot of firepower. Ozzy, Conor Benn is very tenacious. I think you have to box him to beat him. And I've been saying that. I think that's what Chris Eubank is going to do. Chris Eubank is going to try to keep him on the outside, use that jab. But Conor Benn is going to press the action, and a fight is going to break out. A fight is going to break out early, too. Jay Petty, Norman want Boots to pay for the belt literally. Not pay for the belt because Brian Norman Jr. feel like he can beat Jaron Boots Ennis. He want to get paid. He's saying, no, 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 this is what I'm worth. This is what I feel I'm worth. And he's going to show that he is. If you see his last fight, you're like that. Because this is the thing, my peoples. We the fans decide how much somebody's worth. You know how? By the interest that we put in them. Not our opinion. Not the opinion like, oh, he's only worth this, he's only worth that. No, we don't have a say in how much a fighter's worth. But our opinion on do we want to see that fight is what put a value on it. And I did a poll asking people, you want Boots to fight Brian Norman Jr.? And everybody like, hell yeah. The fans want to see that fight. If the fans want to see it, if he got the title and you got to go through him to become undisputed, you're going to have to pay him, bro. Brian Norman Jr., he's doing good business, my brother. He's like, yo, nah, y'all got to pay me. I got to get my money. Pay him. The fans want to see it. We want to see it. John Parham, Norman needs 2 more fights and then should go for Boots. Honestly, my brother, I think he's ready to fight Boots next. Very next fight. And the thing is, I don't think Boots is going to be at the welterweight division that much longer. I believe that Boots want to fight one champion, fight the other champion, and go to 154. So if Brian Norman Jr. fight 2 more times, is Boots even going to be there to fight him, a year away from now? MAW, that's if Team Boots can pay Norman. If Turkey don't help, like you said, Boots might just go up. You see? That's the thing. Jaron Boots Ennis is only at 147 trying to become undisputed. If he can't get those 2 fights, Barrios and Norman Jr., he's going to get out of it. He's going to bolt. Germán Quesada, I would have liked to see Boots versus Crawford. I really wanted to see that fight, but I already know that ship has sailed. We're not going to get Boots versus Crawford. Why? Because Crawford is about to fight Canelo at 168 with no rehydration clause. I promise you, fighting at 168 with no rehydration clause means both of them guys is probably going to weigh 180 or more for that fight. So you think Terrence Crawford is going to go from fighting somebody weighing 180 pounds all the way back down to 154 for Boots to come up and meet him there? That's not going to happen. So I think that ship has sailed. That ship is done. That fight's not going to happen. And by the way, Boots had his opportunity to fight Crawford. They turned it down. Germán Quesada, at Ennis size, I see him ending up as a middleweight. I think, yeah, he's a big guy. Boots is going to move up a few divisions. Ozzy, I think Conor Benn can be dangerous to some of the U.S. fighters. And Conor Benn is pretty much an old school, a throwback type of fighter who will fight anybody. By the way, Conor Benn also said that he's willing to fight Boots. Conor Benn versus Jaron Boots Ennis is also a heck of a fight. JJ Zendejas, they could have given him $1.6 million and some pay-per-view money or something else. The deal fell through for like $300,000-$400,000 because they was already willing to give him like 1.6, 1.7, and they wanted to. So the amount of money that made the deal fall through after we see his last fight, his spectacular win, his stock went up, pay him that money now and get that fight, make it happen. Oliver, do you think Ben Power has gone now off the gear? Went full 12 with Dobson, but KO Vargas and Algieri before hot test. Nah, I think Conor Bennett is a huge power puncher. He's going to be moving up in weight. We have to see how that power is going to transition up there. That's what we have to see. Because sometimes when guys move up multiple divisions, that power is not there anymore. If he can carry that power with him, I believe he can knock Chris Eubank out. I believe it. Ozzy. But Conor looks different. Like way too much aggression. Unnatural level amount of aggression. Nah, yo, he's that type of guy. That's his personality, bro. That's how he is. If you go back and you watch him, even from when he turned pro in the beginning, he's always had that type of energy about him. Pancho Villa, salute, fam. What it do? I would like to see Boots beat down Ryan Garcia, fam. Salute, my brother. So, Pancho Villa, listen, I believe that that's a fight that will be super interesting. Obviously, Boots will be the favorite, but you never know, man. You never know. Ryan Garcia is definitely showing us that he's about that smoke. He's about that action. Ozzy, Conor looks like Marvin Hagler, Thomas Hearns. Whoa. Whoa. Ozzy, the explosiveness. I'm trying to tell you, man, Conor Ben, he's made me a believer. He's made me believe that he's going to knock Chris Eubank Jr. out. He's been saying, I'm going to knock him out clean. That's it. He made me believe him. Oliver, Ben's sparring partner, Denzel Bentley, European middleweight champ, said he doesn't hit as hard as he thought he would. Yeah, but come on, man. You're talking about a middleweight, and that's his opinion. But we got to see. We got to see how it plays out. Like I said, I feel like Chris Eubank Jr. is going to try to box him. Conor Ben is going to press the action, and a fight is going to break out. We're going to get a fight. MAW, subscribe, share, and smash that like button. Appreciate it, my brother. And I've been seeing a lot of you been sharing Box Center. I've been seeing new subscribers coming out of nowhere from different parts of Europe, from Australia, from Asia. Yo, salute to everybody who's sharing the channel, my peoples. I really appreciate that, man. Y'all already know we been got to 1,000 subscribers. We headed to 2,000 subscribers, but ultimately, this is going to be the #1 boxing channel. That's the inevitable, my peoples. Remember, I told y'all that. Ozzy, Conor wants to fight Crawford at one point. But that fight was never there. That fight was never going to happen. That fight was never even going to happen. Underrated Will. Conor Ben going chin check him. Yo, he is going to be the aggressor in this fight. Conor Ben versus Chris Eubank. Conor Ben is going to be the guy pressing the action. Remember, I told you that. MAW, later, gang, my brother. As always, appreciate you dropping in. Have a good one. Jay Petty, nobody coming from a lower weight class is going to be able to compete with Boots, especially not Ryan. Boots will be the favorite from 47 to 54. I mean, Boots is going to be the favorite against anybody moving up to fight him. I agree with that 100%. But it's boxing, my brother. You know, an upset, it's an upset in boxing because we say exactly what you're saying. We're not expecting it. We're expecting the favorite to just beat everybody. And then somebody come and catches by surprise and pull off the upset. That's what happens. Never dismiss the possibility of an upset when you have a power puncher. So I got Boots being the favorite. I got Boots winning all those fights. But I'm not putting an upset past him. I'm not. Oliver, I think it's going to be really one-sided to Eubank. I was at the arena live when Ben got dropped twice by a French journeyman. We'll never forget that. Yeah, my brother, but you also got to remember, styles make fights. Getting dropped by this guy doesn't mean that you're going to have anywhere near that type of performance yourself or that your opponent fights exactly like that guy. So what happened in a previous fight versus a different opponent may not have anything to do with how this fight is going to play out. Ozzy, maybe he could get caught coming in. Chris Eubank usually catches people coming in. I mean, Conor Ben is going to be the smaller fighter with the shorter reach, and he's going to try to get on the inside. That's his fight. So, of course, Chris Eubank is going to try to counterpunch him, is going to try to catch him coming in. Whenever Conor Ben closed that gap, you're going to see Chris Eubank letting his hands go. But let's see how it plays out, man. Conor Ben made me a believer. He made me believe that he's going to knock Chris Eubank Jr. out. That's what I got to say about that. My peoples, I'm about to end this live. Before I do, I want to give a shout out to John Parham, Underrated Will, Hash Bass, Jay Petty, MAW, Oliver, Ozzy, everybody who came through. Of course, Pancho Villa, JJ Zendejas, Germán Quesada, everybody else, Jay Petty, who showed up, show love. I appreciate you guys. Y'all already know what it is, man. I'm Jay Smith. This is Box Center. This is your favorite boxer's favorite boxing show. By the way, a couple of new videos are up. Check out the shorts. Check out the content. Share it with the people. Let them know Box Center is the #1 boxing channel. My peoples, I'm getting the hell out of here. I gotta go eat. I'm hungry. Y'all already know what it is, man. Bam. Peace.